So this is my second video since I've been back from vacation. I told you guys I was going to be releasing it, and so now I am. It's going to be a full review of two fragrances by the house of Roja Dove, or that's the perfumer, but the house of Roja Parfums. It is Elysium and Apex, which is a new release in 2022. So without further ado, let's get it. Alright my dudes, so welcome back. So again, today I'm going to be reviewing by Roja Parfums Elysium, which is their spring and summer fragrance, and then the night out all year round fragrance really to me is going to be by Roja Dove. It's Apex, a 2022 release, and one that I can tell you, I told you guys that I had already recorded this video as a first impression video prior to leaving on vacation, but because I wore both of these fragrances while I was on vacation, and one of them is so complex, I felt like I needed to do more of a full review, that I deleted that video and I'm going straight with this one because they are so amazing that I need to really go through and give you the full details of these fragrances without waiting months to do one. I wanted to do it all right now. So again, I was sent these by Jeff Victor, and this one is Roja Dove Elysium. And this is Roja Dove Apex. Oops, Roja Dove Apex. And so this is going to be Elysium, the one that's in the clear bottle. Although I do also have a sample of the one that's in the blue bottle, I don't really see much of a difference between the two outside of maybe a bit more of projection and a little, maybe about an hour's worth of longevity. But really, there's not much of a difference between the two, and they're about $200 difference. The one in the clear bottle is $490, I believe, and the one in the blue bottle is around $250. And so with that said, I would definitely go with the one in the blue bottle because it's not much of a difference as far as the scent wise is concerned. So I'm going to start out here with Roja Dove Elysium, and I will wear this as my scent of the day also to remind myself. All right. So this is advertised as a fresh citrus aromatic fragrance, and I gotta tell you, a lot of people have compared this to Aventus, just like I told you the other day, from Cedrat Boise by Mancera, by Mancera. It is not an Aventus clone, it's not inspired by Aventus, it's in the same realm of the type of fragrance that Aventus is, but it's not even close. This does its own thing. It doesn't have that type of opening or the smoky birch dry down or anything like that. So with that said, the main notes that you find in this, in Roja Dove Elysium or Roja Parfums Elysium, are grapefruit, lemon, juniper, pink pepper, vetiver, vanilla, and ambergris. So here in the opening of Elysium, it's just absolutely beautiful. You get a nice clean citrus mixed with two notes that are going to stay for the lifetime of the fragrance, and that is juniper and ambergris. The ambergris gives off, just like I've said before, like an ambroxan type feel where it's a bit fizzy, it has a little bit of woodiness to it. Just like amberwood, ambergris, ambroxan, they're all very similar except for you get subtle nuances like one's more woody, one's more fizzy. So anyway, you get that clean, fresh citrus mixed with, and all of these are natural notes, very natural, very fresh, and then you get some of this juniper that gives it like a green, almost fruitiness, and then you get that ambergris in there. Once you get to the mid, the citruses start to dissipate, the juniper and the ambergris start to pull up a bit more, and then you get a bit of pink pepper and vetiver mixed in there. The pink pepper gives it a bit of spice, and the vetiver, again, it's a subtle nuance note in the mid. It pulls up more in the dry down, but in the mid, it gives off this dry smokiness. Once you get to the dry down, that smokiness, that dryness really does pull up a bit more. It's a bit of earthy as well. And then you also get some vanilla coming in around hour 2 or so. I don't really sense the vanilla until it gets far into the dry down. And then again, you get that ambergris and that juniper, again, staying throughout the lifetime of the fragrance. Some people will consider this basic because of the way that it doesn't change from the opening to the dry down, but to me, in the type of fragrance that this is, I think it's one of my favorites. You do get a bit of black currant in the opening, which is where people can say that it is very similar to Aventus. I still don't agree with that, but I can see what you're talking about because it has that black currant and a bit of ambergris in there to give it that Aventusness. But again, this goes down its own path and really is, it's so nice. As far as smelling myself, it is a nice performer as well. It's not a crazy performer. Cedrat Boise does better in that realm. This lasts on average about 8 hours. It projects moderately for about 1.5 to 2 hours. Nothing crazy, and then it's more of a personal bubble for like 3, 4, 5, 6, and then it kind of starts to become a skin scent. So it's not that crazy of a performer. It's great for spring and summer, although you could wear it in fall. And it's more of a daytime scent, although I would say day and night is totally fine. It's a very versatile fragrance. This is one of those fragrances that are niche, yes. But if you are a beginner into niche, this is going to be one of those really easy wears that is more of a designer-inspired niche. Because a lot of niche fragrances are ones that concentrate on one note. Like, let's say it's grass or blueberry or watermelon. You know what you're going to be getting from that niche fragrance. Tobacco vanilla, vanille is tobacco and vanilla. In this one, you get more depth where it is more designer inspired, just more natural. And so with that said, it's a really nice fragrance. It's going to be one that I definitely recommend picking up. If you have the cash flow to be able to pick up a $250 to $300 fragrance, this is going to be one that will get you compliments. It's going to be one that's just going to be a great pickup no matter who you are and will last a long time. So the next fragrance I wanted to talk about is the reason that I wanted to recreate this video from a first impression to a full review. And that is Roja Dove Apex. I'll put obviously the full bottle on the screen to let you know what it looks like. This is a 2022 release by Roja Parfums, and there's about 1,000 different notes in it. The reason I wanted to remake it is because I couldn't decide what type of fragrance this was and the notes that I was pulling. If you look on Fragrantica, there's literally about 1,000 notes. It's about 2 pages worth of notes. So I will give you, and this is still going to be a lot, the notes that I pull from this fragrance. The main notes that I pull are for pineapple, orange, lemon, rum, jasmine, leather, amber, sandalwood, ambergris, cistus, oak moss, and vanilla. Yeah. And that's about a quarter of the amount of notes that I get here. So the main reason I wanted to recreate this video was because I couldn't decide if this, when I first sprayed it on, I thought it was just going to be a sweet, citrusy, ambery fragrance. That's what it was like to me the first time, but then it got to the dry down, then I wore it again. And I was like, wait, this is more of like a chypre or a barbershop fougere. If you don't know what a chypre is, it's a fragrance that has citruses in the opening and then a herbaceous cistus mid, where it's green yet woody, and then when you get to the dry down, it has like a woody and mossy base. And so that's not necessarily what you get here because there's so many different notes, but it's close enough that I'm going to call it that. It's more of a barbershop fougere. And again, I didn't get that the first time I sprayed this on. It was really confusing to me. Before I get into what I do gather from this fragrance, I will give you the full performance just to get that out of the way. The performance here is about 9 to 10 hours on average, and it can be more than that depending on your situation and how many sprays you use, which again is the same for pretty much any fragrance. So you get about 9 to 10 hours, and the projection here, just like Elysium, isn't going to be heavy. It's a little bit heavier, but still I'm going to say moderate to about above average, but more moderate for about 3 to 4 hours at max, and then it turns more into a skin scent after that. So as far as the fragrance itself is concerned, I sprayed it in the cap here just to remind myself. Again, there might be some things here that I either miss or you're confused by, and that is because there's so much stuff here that it's making my head go around in circles because of how much there is, and a lot of it is very muddled. But with that said, it's not bad muddled. It's just there's so many notes put together. The only things that I can really pick out that I can tell you from the beginning until the dry down, all the way through the entire lifetime of the fragrance, you get that sweet amber. You also get it almost smells like cinnamon, but it's not. It's more just of a mixture of spices, and you get that in the background, as well as some ambergris to give it this light fizziness. This fragrance is light but heavy at the same time. It's deep, yet fizzy. It's just, there's so many different facets that I love it. It's going to be one that's going to pull you compliments, and just like Elysium, it's more closer to a designer type fragrance than it is a niche. But I think that's what they were going for. Roja Dove makes beautiful fragrances. They put a lot of thought, time, and work into their fragrances, and they have created some of the best fragrances that I have ever put my nose on, including Elysium and now Apex. So again, you get that pineapple, you get that orange, you get that lemon. They're more muddled in there, and the pineapple is the main portion in there, although the citrus parts and the fruity parts really do dissipate really quickly. And that's why I said that to me it was more of a sweet ambery fragrance, is because that amber really is a powerful note in this fragrance. The notes that do come in and out and in and out are the other notes that I mentioned. The leather, the cistus, they come in, they come out, they come in, they come out, and they don't last very long. The only thing that I can really explain to you, and the way that I'll explain it to you best, is that this is a deep, sweet, citrusy, fruity fragrance in the opening. When you get to the mid, about 15 minutes in, the citruses are gone. The fruits are still there. That pineapple's still there. You get a bit of booziness. You get a lot of vanilla coming in. And then you get that amber. You also get some benzoin. You get some resinous, sweet stickiness mixed with this vanilla. It's a beautiful fragrance overall. If you like sweet fragrances, you're definitely going to like this. It reminds me of a mixture between like Sauvage Elixir and like Prada Amber. If you could just put those together and make it more natural and better overall, that's what you get with this. It's just a beautiful fragrance. I don't want to go too much more into it because you don't really need to. If you like ambery, sweet, vanilla, slightly spicy fragrances that have a bit of citruses and fruits in the opening, you will definitely like this fragrance. It lasts about 9 to 10 hours, if not more. Doesn't project heavily. It's a really nice date night, night out fragrance. Warm, cuddly. If you want to go home, it's going to be able to do that. Not going to be too much in her face. So you guys should definitely try it out, even if with just a sample. Roja Dove Apex, and I'm really excited to pick it up, and that's how good this fragrance is. So with that said, Elysium's great. Apex is fantastic. They're both fantastic. I would never have any bad words for these, even if price wasn't an option. These two would be on my shelf right now because I have a family and I'm the main supporter of that family. I don't want to go and spend $800 just like that. So I'm going to save up to buy each one of these, as a smart person should. But in the meantime, they are great. Comment below, let me know what you guys think of them. Elysium, tell me what you pull from Apex as well, because to me, I think the main notes that you need to pull are the ones that I mentioned. Again, you get a little bit of leather in the dry down, but again, the main part of it is this ambery, vanillic, ambroxan feeling. So thank you guys very much. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I'll be back with another one. Peace.